Christmas, so this is a pre-recorded show because for Christmas I'm going to be spending time with my relatives. Everyone's very busy. I'm going to have to recuperate from that hangover being around them for quite a while. But anyway, more about that later. So we have a super guest coming on today. He is Rob Little. He was named College Comic of the Year. He was also in Maxim Magazine, and he's also been on Comedy Central. However, he's also been on the comedy clubs for cruise ships as well. So without further ado, I'm Matt Henn. This is CruiseWeek.tv. Hey guys, I'm Matt, the host of CruiseWeek.tv. Got my beer poured, getting everything ready to go. So this is, again, a pre-recorded show for Christmas time. So, on the show, what are we doing today? We have wonderful comedian Rob Little joining us. More about him in a little bit. So, the point of the show is to ask different questions, get some more information, understand cruising a little bit better. I'm a newbie, only have one cruise under my belt. So being able to bring on different people, know a little bit more about that, get some more experience, tips, tricks, all of that other fun stuff. Anyway, our guest today, Rob Little, Comic College of the Year. He's also been on Comedy Central. Pretty big deal. Very excited to bring him on. He is born in Detroit. He used to work for IBM. However, he sent a wonderful email to the whole entire company saying, if you aren't happy here, quit your job and follow your dreams. Promptly, he was fired. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Hey Rob, how are you doing?
Hey Matt, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. How's it going?
One cruise, that's all you've done? And you're hosting a Cruise Week show?
It's about that novice type of feel. We don't want to be experts and all. We'll get there eventually, but you know what I mean.
Man. Did you obviously loved it.
It was fantastic. I wasn't really sure what I was signing up for in the beginning. He's like, hey, let's do this, and let me record everything you're doing, and wake up early, and all that other wonderfulness. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, hey, it went pretty well. We got a full season out of it.
That's exciting, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So, enough about me. There's all that wonderful video. So, let us know about you. What happened with IBM?
Oh, my God. I knew I was going to quit eventually because I booked myself out so far that I didn't even, I couldn't be at work. The last year I was with IBM, I had over 60-some sick days with them, and they didn't have, a limit on sick days, so I just kept taking them because I was out of town doing shows, and they were like, what the heck's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, I think I get migraines, and they made me go get checked, and I actually do get them, but not nearly that bad. Mm-hmm. So finally, I just booked myself out too far, and I couldn't go anymore, and I sent out that email. I hacked into the email system, and I sent it to, Europe, Asia, Africa, and I was, telling people to quit their jobs and follow their dreams, and I'm going off to be a comedian, and here's my website, roblittle.com, and sent it out, and I immediately got, thousands of hits on my website. And then people were like, company emails for personal use. And I'm like, I don't care, I quit. And it was awesome. Actually, IBM wouldn't fire me. They let me take leave of absence because they said I was, they put too much time and energy into me. And then right after I left, I got named Michigan's best up-and-coming comedian by the Detroit Free Press. So then I sent that to them, and they were like, you're not coming back. I wasn't coming back if I was named first up-and-coming. So... yeah, it's been up and up ever since then. It's going.
How'd you get into comedy in general? If you started to work with that, because you said you have a computer science degree.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it was my dream since as early as I can remember to be a stand-up comedian. And I grew up in a town with one light, and there was no way that was gonna ever happen there. Mm-hmm. And I had a really cool computer teacher, and he just got me into computers. And I said, well, I guess I'll go to school for this. And it got me down to Detroit because I grew up 2 hours north of there, and I ended up working for General Motors first, and then I moved right next to the comedy club that Tim Allen got started at, and so I just went up and started doing the open mics, and it's been going up and up since then, man.
How did you get into the cruise comedian type of stuff? What brought that on?
I actually had to audition for it. I was living out in Los Angeles, excuse me, and I had an agent that set up an audition for me, and the people from Carnival saw me, and they like hired me right away, and I was getting tons of. I've done almost 100 cruises in 3 years. I think it is. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Are you a platinum member then, or?
I should be. I'd be diamond if once I got 100. I think, right?
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
They don't consider us that. They just consider us work bees down there. But
what do you like better? Like for audience-wise, do you think cruise audience is a lot more? What do you think versus on land?
They're definitely different. With the cruise audiences, if they like you, it's awesome because the whole week you can be out having fun with everybody, and they keep coming back to your shows and they promote it and everything. And obviously, it's going well for me because they just named me one of their top comedians, which is pretty cool. And that's really fun. But I think a nice thing about with the clubs is once you do that show, those people leave, so you don't got to see them the rest of the week. Which isn't, I mean, it can be good or bad. I don't know. I like doing both. That's why I keep going. I haven't stopped doing clubs. A lot of the cruise acts stay doing cruises because they are very lucrative and fun, and but I still like doing clubs, so I want to keep it.
So do you just do Carnival cruise ships, or do you do Royal, Norwegian, or how many different cruise lines do you do?
Right now, I only do Carnival, but we were talking earlier. On Carnival, sometimes you meet a lot of guests that run charter cruises. So they do a bunch of cruises, and that it could be on any cruise line. Well, I was on one maybe, I don't know, it's been about 7 months maybe. And this couple who ran a charter asked me if I would do their charter cruise. And I was like, yeah, of course. And they said, well, we didn't tell you what kind of charter it is. It's a nudist / swingers cruise. And I didn't even bat an eye because I've done, like, I lived out in Los Angeles for 10 years, and I did nudist colonies out there, and I did swingers clubs. So you have to be super open-minded with this job. I mean, the weirdest weekend I ever had was I did a church on Friday, then a nudist colony on Saturday, and then a swingers club on Sunday. That was one weekend for me one time.
So I'm kind of an introvert myself. I'm not very great at public speaking or anything of that nature. So like moving into this is kind of a difficult transition, but a lot of my professors were saying, if you're having a hard time talking to your audience, just picture them in your underwear. So I'm assuming for this coming cruise, it's going to be a little bit easier for you then. Yeah,
I'm going to need to picture them dressed is probably what the main thing's going to be. Luckily, I don't have to be naked. I don't have to do any of that stuff. So it should be pretty interesting. I wish I could take pictures and video, but they strict rules on that. So
you say you don't have to be naked, but does that mean are you going to participate with them, or what is going to go on with that?
I'm not super bashful, so I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. But I'm only on for 2 days. It's a 7-day cruise, and they have like entertainment all week. So I'm like right on the first half with them. And I don't know. We'll see. They'll probably be a lot more open by the end of the week, I would think. So I'll be off by then.
I mean, if you think about it, you don't really need to bring a lot of luggage then. It's kind of just like a little handbag because majority of the time you're, just kind of walk on. Walk off, done.
I'm bringing jeans and a swimsuit. I think that's all I need, really.
So
and sunscreen, lots of sunscreen.
Definitely lots of sunscreen. So earlier you were saying you did comedy shows at a church. I hear you're an ordained minister. So how does that kind of like balance with nudist colonies and swingers clubs?
Yeah, I got ordained because some friends of mine wanted me to do their wedding. So I actually went online and I got ordained, and it's super easy. And I have the certificate and everything to prove. And it was pretty cool. I've done a few weddings now, and what's really cool about it is I pitched this show where we go all over the country. We meet couples that want to do some type of interesting wedding, not like a basic, traditional wedding. We do ones that like they want to dress up like Harry Potter, and then I'm like Dingledorf doing the ceremony or whatever. And but we have some people that want to do underwater. We have some nudists. We have all kinds of weird themes, like princess themes and stuff. And then I am the minister for it, and we like tailor it to them and try to make it fun. And we're gonna videotape it, and it's called I Do Unique Weddings. And hopefully we can get this pitched. I'm working with Regis Philbin on another TV show, so who knows? We might get it on air.
That's pretty cool. I mean, just to have your friends come up to you and ask you to do this, and you just be like, "Yeah, no problem." That must be pretty close friends, right? Or
yeah, they were really good friends. I've done a few of them now, and they've all been super good friends. And yeah, they were fun, man. Because I know them good, so I can kind of throw in jokes along the way, and try to not make it too silly, but still like kind of fun for everybody. It makes it a lot more interesting, I'll tell you that. A lot more people come to the wedding than just the reception when they got a comedian doing the wedding. So
must be pretty neat for them. So how do you get on and off the ship? Is it kind of like walk on with everyone else, or do you have like a specialty way that you just take a sub and go underneath, or what do you do?
No, we they have like a crew entrance. And so we, I don't know how they do it on other ships really yet, but for Carnival, we have like our crew entrance. So all the guests go in one way, we go in another way, and it's usually down in the bowels of the ships. And we have like this thing called MSA, where it's kind of like when you're checking into a hotel. We have to check in with them first, and then they give us our room, and we submit any kinds of expenses we had getting to the ship. And yeah, it's pretty easy. It's not as difficult as you'd think. I think it's a lot easier for us to get on than the guests, actually, because they got to wait and stuff, and we just get right on.
So what is your room like? Do you have your own room? Do you have to share with other people? I've never really been in crew cabins or really down there. It's kind of like forbidden for us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we got a special badges that we wear to get down where the crew is, and we're totally prohibited for bringing anybody down there with us. So unless we could bring someone with us, but man, there's a lot of red tape and paperwork that needs to be done before we bring them. It's a big pain. But when we're down there, we get our own room, and all the other performers, the comedians are the only ones that get their own room. All the other performers have to share. So like the singers, the dancers, the DJs, they all have to share a room, which sucks because they're already tiny rooms. I mean, basically take the basic guest room, whatever the basic down, the lowest fare one, and then pretty much ours, except it's not decorated by any means. It's just a white room with a bathroom and a shower and a tiny little bed. Ships are a little different. They like the Sunshine and the Freedom. I just did those two, and they actually have rooms in the guest areas for us, which is pretty cool. But most of them don't. They're mostly down in the crew area. Yeah, and then there's their own crew mess. They have their own crew bar. The crew, and the drinks are way cheaper for us.
I heard they're a little stronger too.
If the bartender likes you, yeah, they're a lot stronger. Yeah. But it's weird for the comedians because a lot of us, we don't get to know the crew as well because we're only on for like a few days sometimes. You know, if it's a 7-day cruise, we're only on for the last half or the first half of it. So we don't get to know a lot of the crew unless you've been doing it a long time and you kind of run into the same people. But so I tend to like hang out with the guests up top in their bars and dance clubs and stuff, because they're the ones coming to see us every night. And I've made so many friends since I've done this. Like I'll play, like I was just in Little Rock this past weekend, and a bunch of people came out that had seen me on a cruise, it's awesome. I love it.
Do you get your own cabin steward, or are you responsible for, making your bed, waking up, all those fun adult responsibilities?
That's a good question. I didn't guess I'd even never thought of that. We do have our own room steward, and they come once a day, except for port days. Like if we're on a back to front, which means I'm on the last half of one cruise and the first half of the next one. Like on the port day when we're back getting new guests, they don't do our rooms that day. But every other day they'll do it for us if you want them to.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of.
How do you go on to different ships? Do you just kind of like go on one ship and then get off and go on the next one, or do you have a little transition period, or what do you do? How do you relax?
If you book it that way, I've done some where I like literally was on the last half of one cruise. We would get to the Bahamas, and I literally packed up all my stuff, walked right over, and got onto another ship in the Bahamas. So that's happened a few times. A lot of times, this is something interesting, I think, is a lot of times we'll join, like, the back to front. So we'll join halfway through. So they'll fly us into, like, Aruba, wherever the ship is, right? Everybody thinks we get all this time to go see Aruba, but we don't. We go right from the airport to the ship. And we got all of our luggage with us. And a lot of times, like, in Aruba, there's oh, man, what's the one with the B? Belize. It's got a tender, so it's got a little ship that brings you to the main ship back to the port. Well, we got all of our luggage with us and stuff, and everybody knows, like, oh, this must be the new comedians getting on the ship. So, yeah, we don't even get to see a lot of the ports when we're doing that stuff. So it's kind of a bum deal. Like, we'll post it on Facebook, oh, I'm in Belize today. And they're like, oh, my God, you get to see all this cool stuff. And I'm like, no, I get to see the airport and the port where the ship is. Pretty much it.
So what do you do for your vacation? Since you're on cruise ships, how do you enjoy or relax? Like, do you go on a cruise ever just to enjoy the cruise, or?
I did 2 cruises before I was even a comedian, like in college. And I can't even remember the last time I had a vacation. Actually, this is the Christmas show. I'm going on vacation this week in Florida. Just with some
friends. In Florida we can hang out.
I'm going to be in Clearwater.
That's like 40 minutes away.
Really?
Yes.
I got a ton of things planned because I can't even remember the last time I had a vacation. So I'm going down with some friends, and we're going to ride horses on the beach and into the ocean. We're going to swim with manatees. We're doing a bunch of fun stuff all week, doing some hikes. We're going to go down to the Everglades and do one of those, what do you call those, airboats or fan boats or whatever they call them.
Yeah,
ride boats. And see some gators. And yeah. So, I mean, we don't get a lot of, I personally don't get a lot of vacations, but I'm single and never been married, so, I just work.
I mean, if you want a film crew and a host, we could record all of your stuff. I don't mind going on vacation.
That's a good idea. Product placement.
So, growing up in a very small town, I'm from a small town myself. What is it like transitioning from that really small area to big, booming New York City? Is it pretty rough, or?
Well, it was, for where I grew up, is a town with one light, and I think we got like 1,300 people in our hometown. And then from there, I moved to Detroit, and that scared the crap out of me because, I mean, it was Detroit, and, you hear all this stuff. It ended up being awesome. I loved it. And then I went from Detroit to Los Angeles. That scared the crap out of me. And then, like, the last 5 years, I had to move back to Michigan to take care of my mom. My mom's disabled. And then she's doing better now, and so that's why I moved to New York this past year. And New York is like no other city I've ever been to, and to be honest, it's not my cup of tea.
Really?
I'm too Midwest for this, man. And I'm super friendly, and I am not used to people not being friendly, I guess. It's not for me. As a matter of fact, I'm moving, so I've only been here a year, and I'm not staying. Yeah.
So what do you do outside of comedy? Like, how do you just kind of go about your day? Do you just go on the ships, go off? What do you do for, like, spare time, just kind of kicking back and relaxing?
What do we do, like, when we're on the ships, you mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's different. It kind of depends on the comedian you're working with, too. Like, if it's a good buddy, we'll get off the ships and we'll go do some stuff. There was a magician I'm buddies with on the Carnival Triumph, and him and I always go do things together when we work together. But most of the time, to be honest, most of the crew, we try to find free internet. That's what we do. We try to find free internet and get lunch somewhere because it costs. They charge us on the ships.
Mm-hmm.
They pay for everything else for us, but they charge us for internet and obviously liquor if you want. Yeah, so that's pretty much. I mean, I've been to Cozumel 30, 40 times this year already, so there's not a lot more I want to do there besides grab internet. So
nice. So
yeah.
I've been told you just came out with another recent DVD for a comedy show. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's my third one, and I'm actually working on I almost have enough for a fourth one already. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's the third one I'm trying to sell to Netflix right now, because that's what a lot of guys do now is they produce their own and sell it to Netflix. So it's a huge process. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and but it's selling great. I sell a ton of them on the cruise ships, and when I'm playing comedy clubs, and it's a dual disc CD and a DVD, and I do a lot. I think I do a lot more than what other comics will get because I put I started out in improv, so I do a lot of sketches and stuff too. And on my DVDs, I think I have 17 DVD extras on my newest one, and that's the most any comedian's ever had. And so it's a bunch of. I feel like when I sell something, I want to give them a little extra. So. Yeah, so I like to do that.
So, what do you do for charity? We had Adrian on last time as our guest, and he was talking about some of his charities, but I've also understand that you have your own little charity going on.
Yeah, I started my own charity in my hometown. My hometown really got hit by the economy collapse and stuff like that. So what I do is we help out families that are like underprivileged, and they have to have kids. Because I don't have kids and I like to do things for kids. And so what we do is we usually we get pretty much whatever the kids want, and usually a lot more. And then we try to pay the parents bills for the next 3 months. So we'll pay their rent and utilities and car payments and stuff like that. And we try to do it for at least 3 months if we can, to kind of get them caught back up, so behind and stuff like that. Last year we bought somebody a brand new car. It all depends on the donations I get, and it's a lot of work. To be honest, I'm so busy right now that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to help this year, but we're going to try. We've helped over 15 families, I think, in the last 5 years. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's nice to do it, and there's so many charities out there that I thought, I think my hometown really needed some help, and I don't know, I was happy to do it. It makes me feel great too. I just love making people happy. So
we will definitely make sure to put that link when we upload this video for Christmas time. I feel like a lot of people will be more than willing to help out. So before we wrap up the show, what is one piece of advice you'd give to new cruisers, such as myself?
Oh man, I would say just don't stay in your room. Get out and do things, because I mean they literally have things going on every hour, every half hour, and even if you don't want to do them, get out and just talk to people. Be friendly. When you're sitting you're going into the shows, talk to the people next to you. Find out where they're from. When you're eating, talk to people. When you're sitting at the comedy club, a lot of people are afraid to sit next to other people. Just sit next to people and talk to them. You'd be surprised at how everybody's there for the same reason. So, you're going to make some new friends and have a good time. And don't worry about spending money. Just have a good time. That's...
Spending money comes after the cruise is over, right?
Worry about it later.
So thank you so much for coming on. We had a great time. It's really nice to be able to have an interview with a very popular celebrity. So thank you so much. Make sure, guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, leave some comments, some love. We will be live streaming this video during Christmas, so we will still be commenting Subscribe to us to get further information of when we go live. For now, that's a wrap, and we will see you guys later on.